Hi, my name's Jayne Everson and I'm your coach for Psychology's magazine this month. And we're focusing this month on happiness at home and healing relationships. We're on week 3, and this week we're going to look at those relationships that are important to you that we want to heal, and letting go and moving on from relationships that perhaps no longer serve you well. Or ones that you have lost contact with and have regrets, and perhaps want to regain and reconnect. Also going to show you a technique for managing conflict in relationships, and being present and truly listening to the people that you care about, and you want to be there for. So have a think about, firstly, a person that either you want to move on from, or someone that perhaps you've lost contact with and you want to reconnect, or someone in your life where you just feel the relationship just isn't what it used to be, and you want to make it better and heal that relationship. So take a clean piece of paper, and on that paper I want you to write down how you feel about that person. Take a note of your emotions while you're writing these points down. Really concentrate on positive memories that you have about them, as well as the negative aspects of the relationship. And just get it all down on paper. Things that you regret, things that perhaps they have said to you or done to you that have really hurt you. And write down exactly what effect it had on you, and why you feel the way that you do. If someone is really been missing in your life for a long time, try and list down the reasons why you would like them back. What is it about them? What is it that you really miss and that you'd like to reconnect with? And perhaps if you feel you've changed and you made mistakes in the relationship, write down all of the things that you feel are more positive about you now, and what you've learned in the journey that you've been on. At the end of writing this letter, you have several choices. You can either tear it up, or burn it. You can put it in an envelope and seal it and put it away somewhere safe. And then you can get it out at a later date when you feel ready to deal with it again. And the final thing that you could do with it, if you feel brave enough and you feel ready enough to do this, is to actually send the letter to that person, or make a phone call, or email them or text them and arrange to meet with them. And use this letter as a basis to start the conversation going. If you don't feel ready to do this, then the next stage is to imagine them almost like a hologram sat in front of you in a chair. They can't respond or react to anything that you say or do, but you can verbalise how you feel and the contents that you put in that letter. You can verbalise this to them, and just be aware of your posture, and your energy levels. Do you feel energized as you're talking, or do you feel negative and drained? How are your facial expressions responding to what you're saying? How your shoulders are you tense? Do you feel adrenaline surging through your body? Just be wary of how you're reacting, and be fully aware and fully present in your body while you're doing this. Now, put yourself a week ahead and imagine how you will feel if you had done this and you'd spoken to this person and communicated with them. How would you be feeling now? And then imagine how you'd be feeling if you hadn't done it. Would you be feeling no different to the way you are now? Would you be feeling happier or sadder or more negative. And then do the same exercise, but a month out, 6 months, a year, 5 years. Now, this will give you a really good indicator as to whether this relationship is worth healing or moving on from or fixing. And it also allows you to understand how you're reacting to it, what the physical reaction is to you, and how important that is to you as a person, and your health and your mental well-being, and your energy levels. So just take some time to do this, and you can do this with anyone, even a really close family member that perhaps really you have found frustrating, you can't communicate with them, or there's always conflict when you meet up with them. So just practice this a few times, and it's really, really powerful technique. Now, the third thing that I wanted to go through with you is listening. Now, I read an amazing book which was recommended to me when I did my coach training with Barefoot. It's by a lady called Nancy Klein, and it's called Time to Think. I've used this technique now with my family, with my children, and I didn't realise how often I wasn't fully present in conversations with people and with my children. And I think we can all be guilty of this. We live busy lives. We have so many distractions now. Messages constantly coming through on your phone, technology, just the pressure to do more and more. And if you're a working parent as well, that is ever present in your life, these distractions. So just take, even if it's just once a day, just take time to listen fully to someone. Just close the chatter in your mind. Try not to preempt what they're going to say or to hurry them along, and just listen and take all distractions away and be fully present in the relationship that you have with them. And what you'll start to notice is that that child that perhaps is constantly badgering you for things actually is missing that connection and that contact with you, and you'll find they will often be calmer as a result, and more content and happier. And it can be the same in other relationships. Sometimes people keep wanting to make that contact because they're not getting the quality of communication back from the other person, and there's unfinished business. So just spending some time and being fully present is really, really important. Even sometimes just by responding to a text or an email, if you do that too hurried and quickly, and you don't really read through or understand what that person's trying to say, you could end up with 10, 20 emails by the end of the week, all on the same subject, because you weren't fully present in that communication with them. And sometimes just easier to pick up the phone. So doing that with friends and family is just so important. And then the second way of using this technique is to manage conflict. Now, I've done this with my children when they've been fighting and bickering, and each of them are blaming each other for something, and it just escalates and just ends up with emotion that's completely out of control, and very stressed and haggard parents. So you get your children round the table. This can work with any relationship that you have. And everybody has to have some time to speak and to get their point across. This is particularly powerful in families where you have dominant personalities, and maybe one family member is a lot quieter and introverted, and perhaps just wants to keep the status quo and fall into line and just not raise their head above the parapet. It gives them time to have a voice and to give their thoughts and opinions and ideas. some time to be aired. So you go around the table and everybody has this time to speak. Nobody's allowed to interrupt or bring judgment or even make a noise or sigh or use negative body language. Everyone has to sit very still, hands in their laps, and just listen to the other person fully and completely until they've finished what they're saying. And then you go on to the next person, and you keep going round the table until everybody's got their thoughts and feelings and ideas out into the open. And then the second stage is to get each and every one of you to come up with an idea to resolve that conflict or that issue or the decision that you're making. And you keep going round the table until all of the ideas are out. And then you go round again and you get some consensus on what's going to happen. Now, it may well be that you all decide to just have your own ideas and stick with that, and you come to no conclusion. Or there is one idea that everybody is in agreement with, that they're going to move forward with. And you normally find that once you've done this a few times, it is just so powerful, and the conflict just melts away, because the emotion there hasn't been allowed to keep bubbling up, and it ends up in a slanging match of insults or emotions or aggression or negativity, and sometimes just trying to get to a decision, everybody getting their ideas out on the table, even if they're ridiculous and crazy and irrational. Everybody's just voiced their opinion and been given time, and everybody's been fully listening and fully present in that conversation. So I hope these tips have been useful. They've certainly worked for me, and I've seen them work in meetings as well, and particularly the visualization one at the beginning, with a letter and the person sat in front of you. I've seen some really powerful shifts in people's relationships in just visualizing how they would interact with that person. So give it a go, and I hope you have some good results from it. And thank you for listening.